G'day, Steeler Nation Australia. I stumbled there for a little bit. I'm trying to think which one am I on, Steeler Nation Australia or the podcast that I do. But we are on Facebook. You know me, Mark, who run the page. And today we have a special guest, Colin. How you doing, mate? What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Like I said earlier, I'm just chilling on a Thursday night. I took tomorrow off, so I'm sort of in weekend mode already.
If only, do you have the Hall of Fame game off? You could have watched that if that was tomorrow.
I took that as well, so that's already planned.
Oh, yeah, nice. So you do have that off.
Yeah.
So we've got to tell people, so this will be going on our Steeler Nation Australia Facebook. It's in our group. We've only got one person watching. Have no idea who that is. Please, 2 people watching. Put your name in, ask questions. We're going to do this for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour. The whole idea is to get to know Colin and what his Steeler fandom is. I've spoken to him a little bit about it, but we're going to jump into just a second. And I might put this on YouTube. I'm trying. I've got. Have you seen all the questions I got?
No,
they're all for you, mate.
That is very well prepared.
Yeah, I did that this morning and a bit yesterday. So this may go on YouTube as well. I've got a few followers there, but look, this is going to be fun. 4 in live chat now. So we want to know, firstly, Cole, pretty much how did your Steeler experience start? Like from the beginning, what made you? How did you find the team?
Yeah, so I mean, it was probably a little bit of an accident, but like, so I'm I'm going to age myself, obviously. So I'm 42, and I was 14, something like that. So it was about 93, and then we just sort of went into year 7, year 8, and a bunch of us were, especially one guy was right into football, gridiron. And so he started sort of introducing us a bit, and then at that time there was like Don Lane's Tuesday night football or something, and the one game I turned on, it was the Steelers, and they were playing in like their that sort of pirate uniform. It was like a weird, can't remember what it was. It was like this one of the alternate ones,
the jail uniform.
Yeah, the jail one, I think.
Yep.
So it was either 93 or 94. I can't remember, around that. And then I think it was one of the games that Rod Woodson like took one back to the house or something like that, and I just went, yeah, that's going to be my team. And then just I didn't even know this, but Newcastle ended up, when we followed the game a little bit more, Newcastle had their own gridiron team as well, and they were done up in the Steelers uniform. So I just picked the right team,
I was going to ask you that question because you are from Newcastle. I spoke to you before, and I was going to ask you about the I can never pronounce the name.
The Cobras back then,
yeah,
Newcastle Cobras back then. Yeah, I don't know what they are now. Yeah,
and now the Newcastle, the Illawarra,
the Hunter gridiron.
Yeah. They were the Steelers, right?
One league, but the Illawarra Steelers is in the NRL team.
Yeah, was that what you are talking about, or am I completely off track?
No. Newcastle had their own gridiron team. Like it was just a local small league, and they were done up in the same sort of colours because I guess it was a steel town, so they borrowed from the guys who started that are mad Steelers fans as well.
Yeah,
and so it just worked out. I picked a pretty good team. So and then obviously they did. They did okay. Obviously, back even in the 90s, they were a steel curtain. Well, not steel curtain, but the second incoming of it, I guess, incarnation of it. The Greg Lloyd era, Kevin Green era, and all that sort of stuff. So I just fell in love with it. The zone blitz, that type of stuff. Because I was not a sporty guy. I mean, I was telling you before, I'm a tech guy. Yeah. But when I started learning about that and the sort of the tactics of the game, it just that's what I love more than the actual physical part of it, if you know what I mean.
So who did you pick first? Did you pick the Steelers first, or did you pick to follow the NFL first?
To be honest, I can't remember following the NFL without following the Steelers. So I must have picked the Steelers. Like I had to have a team, so I picked them. I would admit that in my high school years, I did have that flirted with the second team as well in the NFC, and that was the 49ers back then with Steve Young. So
but they were pretty good.
Sort of like. Yeah. So I had the Steve Young posters as well, but I mean, nothing still beat the Steelers as number one in terms of my actual passion. But I used to always have a favourite NFC team just in case they were knocked out, like the Steelers were knocked out. So
yeah, and the Steelers didn't win too much, or they didn't win championships in the 90s either. So how hard was it?
Yeah, the Cowboys, the Super Bowl, 30 or whatever, when we lost to the Cowboys and stuff. All right, yeah.
How hard was it being a fan in Australia? How did you find access to watch the games and be a part of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was. I took control at school. I was like the guy who, printed out that, Monday morning you'd print out the standings and shove it on the locker, and sort of keep a bunch of us together in terms of like tipping and following our teams and stuff like that. But I mean, it was hard. I mean, it was literally just the internet, Tribune Review, whatever it is, that site, and just following blogs and stuff like that. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was the audio you could get. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was through the NFL.com, or you could pay to just get the audio. So you had Tom Chilton and stuff, Myron Cope. You could just listen to them.
Too,
I mean, one of the classics. I mean, I'm the type of guy, I love something, I go straight into it and I dive as deep as I can. And so like, you do it, you get up at 3 o'clock, it's not a problem. You get up, every game you're there, there's no debate. But back then when there was no video, it was like, I used to, I remember when I moved out of home and my computer was in a different room to my bed. And I was like, well, that's cool. I can just run an extension head cable. I used to 3 o'clock in the morning, stumble to the computer, turn on the NFL, stream the Steelers game, and go back to bed with the headphones
on.
So
you saw live games?
Massive cable. No, it was just audio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so just listening to the whole game, in audio.
That sounds like you're a crazy person, eh? You're at 3 a.m., you put the headphones on, and you're like, first down.
Yeah. But I mean, it was good back then too, because you had to listen to Myron Cope and all that. And that was just classic guys that, that's full Pittsburgh. You don't know.
What a voice too. What a voice he has. For me, I saw the Steelers, or I started to follow them in 2004. So, like I was talking to the other guys, Catherine and Oliver, last month, I said, for me, there's a big disconnect if you don't actually watch the players at the same time. Like the Lloyds and the Greens and those kind of guys, and the Woodsons, they're great. They're great Steelers, but I really haven't got that connection with them because I'd never watched them growing up. Now with my Steelers, I know the first Steeler I saw was like Dan Creeder, Tommy Maddox. And went into Amos Zero Way, those kind of guys. He was awesome at 21. Veron Haynes, like those kind of guys that I grew up watching when I was trying to figure out the game. And then my real fandom started about 2007. I think it was 2 years after the Super Bowl 40, which I liked to watch it, but then the real passion kicked in. Do you have a favorite player from back in the day, or a favorite overall?
Rod Woodson. I mean, there was Rod Woodson initially for sure, but I mean that if I picked three of them, it was Rod Woodson, Greg Lloyd, Kevin Green. I mean, they were the ones that I followed the most, I guess, of interest. But yeah, Bus as well. I mean, that was awesome. But I mean, and most of the linemen, to be honest. I mean, I love offensive lines. DeMonte Dawson and stuff back then, and just watching, learning all about that. I mean, it was the tactics of it that I just really loved. So
that's amazing, because that's something I'm trying to learn more every year. I haven't watched the O-line throughout my whole 17 years.
To be honest, I'm probably worse now because I'm busy. You don't get as into it, but when I was at uni, and then you'd get Madden on you'd do everything with Madden, try to learn how you try to learn.
Yeah.
Sort of, if that was just a computer game, but you're trying to like learn, put plays together or whatever that you can do.
Cole, there's a stat out there that I read years ago, is that people who are new to the game, and a lot of Australians are, they play Madden and they learn the game through that. 70% of people I heard, or something like that who play Madden understand how cover ones, cover twos, blitz packages work, sub packages, we run what do we run? Oh, it's going to go in my mind. We run a 3-4, and not many defenses now run a 3-4. So we're still.
It's changed so much too, probably. Yeah. Oh, Madden. I mean, Madden. I used to have every edition of Madden until the PC. Like I was on PC, so until the PC stopped, and then that just, I guess, destroyed my Madden career for a bit. I used to build there was this thing called the Madden editor, and I wrote that, and so it was like a piece of software you could hack the Madden files, and it's still going today. I still get bug requests. I don't do anything on it anymore, but so someone must still be using it to edit Madden rosters in order to because that it was really anal. Like you had to have it exact, especially right now when you're about to go into preseason. You needed your roster exactly what was.
So you could create
in real life.
People do that on a Madden now. They have up to date rosters because you just buy the recent one. Oh man, so
Yeah, but now back then, I mean, I think you were at the mercy of EA, giving whenever they might do 1 or 2 releases a year or something. So you'd hack the save game file, but not only that, you could change all the players' stats and try and make them as equal or overpowered as you want and stuff like that.
99 overall. Well, looking into players, this is my third question of about 25. So get ready. Do you have a favorite play overall?
In your play?
Yeah, in your Steelers fandom.
God, that's a good. I mean, look, can I do something like that? I can't even remember what it's called, but I like the crossing inside blitzes that sometimes they do, especially with poor Williams retiring up the middle blitz. That crossing. I don't know, is it the Fire X or whatever they call it? That
crossfire, something like that.
What's that?
I mean, like an actual play in history that the Randall, that kind of play. Not getting too technical, or the James Harrison.
Okay, God, yeah, I like that. I mean, it's probably going to be the Santonio Holmes touchdown pass, catch. I guess that was insane. Oh, I mean, little things like Ben Roethlisberger's angle tap on that. I can't remember who it was to actually get us into the Super Bowl or close to it, where we nearly lost to Indianapolis.
He ran back.
That was a lucky one. I mean, I probably don't dwell on. They don't sort of inspire me to. I don't sort of go, oh, that was awesome. Actually, there was a couple of, I can't remember. It was not an individual play, but there was a run of games that would have been, I don't know when, where I think we won 3 or 4 games in a row where we knocked the opposing quarterback out. Do you remember that? It was like in the mid 2000s or something. It was
I'm trying to think what year, because if you're talking about the James Harrison where he knocked out the Browns guy and he was getting targeted for illegal hits, and some of those guys were going to La La Land. Or you could have been talking about the playoff run with Bud Dupree knocking out, I think it was Ryan Tannehill.
No, it wasn't that one. Yeah, no? That was awesome. It wasn't that. It was a couple of years before that where there was about 3 or 4 games where the opposing quarterback didn't finish. It was just,
you wouldn't want to verse the Steelers defense. How would you want to verse the Steelers defense, even now with TJ Watt, and now we have Melvin Ingram? But let's jump into some of the big news. We're trying to be a current news program. What are your thoughts about Vince Williams retiring today? Like, it came out of nowhere. Came out of see you later, mate.
And just really weird that it was on the first day camps. I mean, I guess it makes me wonder: did they know something, or did they want to retire him there? Or it's weird because I mean, unless he's just come back after minicamp going vet minimum. I don't want to put my money through this again. I don't know.
Possibly. I got a feeling it's for the money. I got a feeling that Ingram's come in and maybe he's got paid a little bit more. I've got a feeling also that he just played 8 years and he is really a Steeler at heart. No one hits him as hard as Vince Williams. But do you think he'll be missed this year?
Yeah, I think so. Because I know we're talking about inside linebacker depth is there, but the experience of the depth is not really there. Like, it's still pretty, Ulysses Gilbert or whatever his name. I mean, he can't even stay on the field, and then you've only got 2 guys. And Spillane's awesome, but is he a quality NFL starter for 17 games? Or
hasn't been tested yet. He hasn't just been. He's done a few things, and I think he's going to pair next to Bush at the same time. He hasn't really been tested.
Even Bush hasn't proved himself now. It's like,
I'm keen to see what he can do.
Big time this year. He's got to step up. I'm a bit worried. Even when we had Shazier, I was like, I don't know what it is. We've got these delicate inside linebackers. I just feel like sometimes they're really good, but one bad tackle and they're out of it. And I'm just like, I get a little bit worried. I'm a bit pessimistic sometimes in that regard.
Yeah, I think they have to play well with the outside linebackers that I grew up watching was really Farrier, Foote, Woodley, and Harrison. Those kind of core 4 can really control a game. And with our front 3, Alawalu, Tuitt, and Hayward, you really have to have a guy there that I think Bush will step up. Now, I think Vince Williams was going to be that run stopper. But now we have. What are your thoughts of getting Melvin Ingram?
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I didn't obviously follow him too much, but the stats, like, what is he? He's like the highest. Was he the? What were they saying? He's had the most pressures without a sack last year, but it was like 26 or something pressures. I mean, you couple that with Watt and stuff on the other side, even if you can mix them up occasionally. Obviously, I don't think. Oh God! Now my mind's blank. What's our other outside linebacker?
Highsmith.
Highsmith. I don't think Highsmith's in danger there as such, but you've got a really good rotation. And we've got, I don't know what the D-line and stuff of San Diego, or not San Diego, LA was, but if you've got someone who's able to pressure a quarterback like that, you've got 3 or 4 other guys that are ready there to take the sack. So it's going to be that's a good pickup, providing he stays healthy.
I just like his mentality. I saw a lot of his interviews when he was breaking down film, and he just, to me, Ingram seems like a Steeler. I know there's a lot of fans out there are all saying he's too old, he's this, he's this. Yeah, but I think he can bring it. I think he's going to bring it, and he's going to have that Steeler mentality. He ran to camp. He's in camp today. He was already with TJ Watt, and I think I've asked the guys. I've asked Catherine and Oliver in the chat. Asked them last time. What are your thoughts on the Steelers end last season? Firstly, what are your thoughts on the Steelers 2020 season?
Well, I mean, I was enjoying the 11-zip run, but I didn't think we were an 11-zip team, but we were doing what the Steelers do. We know how to close tight games, and it's hard. If you're for the Steelers, you've got a strong heart because you're going to have a heart attack every in our case Monday morning. It didn't surprise me that they started to slip, and it just felt a little bit like at the end of the year before, where the defense just started to also just be too tired and fall apart a little bit. So it's just frustrating in that part, and I get a little frustrated that sometimes I think they get a little bit ahead of themselves and they don't put the effort in sometimes. I don't know what it is near the end there.
No, you know what? That's the biggest thing I think happens, because I know I've talked about it on my podcast on the Behind the Steel Curtain and with Maddie and you guys have seen it. The biggest thing I think is that this Steelers team this year, if they get all the way to the playoffs, they go 13-4. Say they go 12-5. Yeah, it's different now, right? They get all that way and they lose and they don't show up. That's the biggest thing, is that they're not showing up. And I know we're all fans, and like you and I don't play a game, but we buy the jerseys. We put our heart and soul into this team. You know, we've got this amazing platform where we can talk to everyone on the Facebook and the group and everyone like that. So we put all our effort into it, and then you see your team. Like what were your initial reactions of that Browns? The
Browns. Yeah, my father-in-law was over, and I had the TV set up, pressed play, and then 7 down. So fuck's sake, yeah.
Because that start was a snap. Pouncey just went over Ben's head. Pouncey and what's his name? Connor's a good running back. Yeah. Nobody picked it up. 7-0, 14:53 to go, and you're thinking.
But then in Steeler fashion, I don't think there was any point in that game where I thought we could not win it as well. So it's just like typical.
And that's hard, isn't it? How hard is that?
It's just like they just keep you dragging on. Like it's the third quarter, and you're like, oh, hang on. If we just hold them and score once, which we could do, suddenly we're 7 down. That's fine. Yeah,
they did that too. They did that because I went live on this page, right? And I remember saying we had to score 4 times and stop them 4 times. And we did it twice. We scored twice, stopped them twice. And then I think the third time we went to score, we lost it, and that was it, because then they put another score on top. We should never be in that situation to where you give the Browns a 35-7 lead or 3 lead or whatever it was. And you had to score 28 points. 28 points, and that was the buffer. Now, I said in that cast, I was like, if the Browns stuff up, this will be the Browns of all Browns things to Browns up.
It would break their heart. I mean, I'd hate to feel sympathy for them, but I just think, man, that would have been
imagine if they lost that game. If you're up 28-0 at halftime or 35
to
your
whatever, biggest rival, and then you lose it.
And you lose. That would have been the browniest thing ever. But look, we're in that situation.
So I was going to say, do you think I'm a bit of a believer in sports, because it seems to happen in a lot of other sports, not just NFL, whereas it's pretty common to see teams carry over that last part into the beginning. You know, like sometimes I remember years ago when the Steelers, I think they might have that last 8-8 they were at, but they finished pretty strong. And then the next year they came back and they were, whatever it was, maybe 12-4 or something. And you see it in the league as well and all that sort of stuff. So are you worried about that fact that we ended so poor and the Browns actually ended quite well?
I think the only thing I'm worried about is if we go to the playoffs this year and we lose again first round. There is no way we can't lose first round. If we lose first round, no matter who we're versing, that is a failure. That's a massive failure. It's a failure to TJ if he's even playing bad or good. It's a failure to Devin Bush, failure to Cam Hayward, failure to Joe Hayden. See how I'm naming a lot of defensive guys? Failure to our
because I've
defense.
actually tried. Oh, and imagine poor Joe Hayden if bloody it goes nowhere and the Browns actually go through and win, and he left that team, and then he still doesn't win a Super Bowl, and they do. It'd be like, oh, what a gut punch. Yeah.
The thing is, I think we still have last year with Big Ben, I think that his arm still bothered him in certain parts. I think we did get ahead of ourselves. You do probably need tactical losses along the way. Going 11-0, you probably have to lose about two games in that period. Mike Tomlin has always stressed that I had an argument with a guy on Twitter or Facebook. It wasn't from our page, it was from another something, right? And I said, Tomlin's always said, you want to win 3 games out of 4. You want to be 75%. So you do that in 4 quarters, and you're 12-4. And then this bloke was saying, nah, mate, like he was some American dude. He was like, well, you should want to win every game. I'm like, it's not impossible. It's not possible to want to win every game, to go 17-0, 16-0. I said, Tomlin's idea is to win 3 out of 4 every quarter. You do that, and you have a good chance to be 12-4 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point. I mean, I do like some of that philosophy, trying to just keep it simple. Like obviously beat the guys in your division, win your quarters each quarter of the season, and you're going to go somewhere. But last year they poor momentum, and then they also rested because they could. I mean, if they just lost one more game at the beginning of the year, they wouldn't have been able to rest so many people probably in that last game. It would have meant more. And I reckon they would have carried a bit more momentum
What are your thoughts, Colin, resting? Because I've got this feeling now that whatever happens in this playoffs, if we rest Big Ben in the last game again and then we lose, I don't know. I think you got to play him to a certain degree. Because it's happened with the Jags, right?
Yeah.
But they did it with the Jags. They didn't play a week before, and he got rested. Then we lost to the Jags 45-38. Blake Bortles beat us. The same scenario happened with the Browns. We rested Big Ben. We could have beat the Browns and not even let them in, but they beat up by 2 points, and then we let them in, and we'll get them next time, and then we lost. So I don't know if you come to the end of the season.
It's funny. There's certain positions I don't care if they rested a bit more, especially like the TJ Watts that just looked a bit spent, if you know what I mean.
He looked gassed.
Some of the other guys, I just think, you got to make them. Even in the preseason, I don't believe they play him enough. They used to play, you used to play a lot more in the preseason a number of years ago. I mean, on the flip side, I remember every year there was 1 or 2 big quarterbacks that were out in an ACL tear or something, beginning of the year, and you lost them. So probably the NFL don't like that. But I don't know. I reckon they talk about a long season, and I think, it's only 17 games, guys. Come on,
It is a bit longer though, because you've got that one extra game, and we have our bye, I believe, at week 5 or 6 or something like that. It's pretty close. Now, I think that here's a question for you: how many games do you think that Big Ben will start this year? Do you think he'll start all of them?
I think all of them, because I don't think we'd be in a position. I mean, I'd love to be in a position where you can, rest people at the end, but I think it's going to be a lot tougher this year. I just think. And the only way I think it won't, I think the Browns will be legitimate competition. So and then the Ravens, yes, although you never know. The Ravens are weird. They're either really good or they'll have that 5 and 11 year that just pops out.
I think they'll go down. I reckon they'll go down this year, Cole. I got a feeling that. I think we'll split with the Browns. What are your thoughts then? What are your thoughts on the AFC? I've said my piece in other shows or the shows I do on BTSC. What are your thoughts on the AFC North? Do we beat the Browns twice? Do we beat Bengals twice? Do we beat Ravens twice?
Yeah, I mean, look, my optimistic thing is probably that I don't have the combination, but I'd love it if we beat one of them twice. That was a 4-2 sort of finish, and which is probably what was it, that 4-2 last year? I'm trying to remember. We lost to Bengals.
Yeah, we lost to the Bengals.
We lost to the Browns. And we beat the Ravens twice.
The Bengals are too fired up. Yeah, we swept the Ravens, and I think we went 1-1 with the Browns. I think the same scenario might happen this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think if it's 2-4, you're out of it anyway. So like if you're only winning 2 out of the 6 games, you're not even in the playoffs really. So for us to be a competitor, we're going to have to be 3-3 or 4-2.
I reckon I think they've got the Ravens tape. I think the Browns are up and coming. Bungles, we might go 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends when. I mean, I can't remember the schedule now. It just depends on where we sit versus, they're the type of games that you lose if you come in too cocky, but they're the ones that we would destroy them if for some reason we've got a chip on our shoulder. So that's going to be an interesting one.
We used to do that with the Raiders, like the years I've been watching, and maybe you as well. The easy games on paper, the 2-10 Jets, the 1-8 Raiders, we lose. We just go, what is happening? And then we lose. We've got a comment here from Glenn. Glenn says, we need to find and start training a new QB urgently. What are your thoughts on Big Ben? Is this his last season? And do we have a new QB?
I don't know. I legitimately think if he plays, if we go okay, and like, not okay is probably not the right word. If we go, fine, and we get into the playoffs and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised. And we don't win, he's a candidate for coming back, because I just feel like he's starting to look after himself a bit more. And now that's going to screw us around contractually wise. I don't even know. You'd have to re-sign him again, and then suddenly,
Yeah, he's on avoidable years.
He's not going to come.
I don't know what he's on, to be honest.
And then I don't know what TJ Watt's expected second year will be. Like if they sign an extension now, it doesn't move the needle cap wise probably, but man, he'll have some massive roster bonus next year, and he's going to have a $30 million hit next year as well. So if anything, maybe the Steelers can't even afford that, and they just decide, even though we've got a lot of cap room, we don't have a lot of players signed either. So you have to start deciding to move on. I don't know about needing to train. I mean, the next good quarterback in the Steelers is somewhere maybe in school or
high school,
or about to go into college. I mean, we're going to have these fun. I remember. I mean, I grew up through the Neil O'Donnell, Cordell Stewart eras and stuff like that. Cordell Stewart I lost all my hair pulling it out from him throwing 3 interceptions every time a game was on the line. But I mean, like at the same time, the Steelers were always competitive, and even if we have an okay quarterback, we'll be competitive, I think.
Do you think if Ben hangs the cleats up after the Super Bowl win, which I've got a feeling, I think if he wins, I think he might be done. But you know what? You don't know his Ben. Is Rudolph our guy?
No, but do you think he looks a bit jacked in some of those pictures from? Did you see him running in the pictures from yesterday?
Big Ben or Rudolph?
No, Rudolph.
No, I didn't see.
He's
a fit bloke.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if he's a number one. He's definitely a capable number two. I can't say that he's going to be a franchise guy, but the thing is, because I actually thought that Big Ben was going to retire when he got hurt, and it's just thrown me out the last few years. I just don't know. Like, he's here for 1 year, and if he wins, he might want another one. If he loses, he just seems like a guy, Big Ben, right now. We've had him for 17 years. He's behind me. Where am I? Behind there. Got a funny story about that jersey. I almost intimidated a guy. I was over in
it's a Bradshaw jersey as well, is it?
Yeah, I got Bradshaw, and I found the Bradshaw one at an op shop, and that's what my dad found it for $50. And
awesome.
1975. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
1975, like the anniversary or whatever it was.
That's the 75th anniversary season. The
Roethlisberger there. I was in the what do you call it? Boston Wild Wings or whatever it's called. The Boston
Buffalo Wild Wings.
The Boston Pizza.
Okay, yeah.
And they were giving away the jerseys, right? So I got there because I used to watch the football in Canada when I was living there. And I was in that shop or in the bar from like 10 a.m. to like 7 because I was just like wanted to say the first person there during Thanksgiving has a chance to win the jersey. And I sat there for like 4 or 5 hours, and then I said, "Mate, when are you giving away the jersey?" And the guy behind the thing goes, "Yeah, he already gave it away to that bloke over there." And I went, "You're fucking joking." I said, "Mate, I'm wearing Steeler gear. What do you?" Oh, and then he was apologetic, right? The guy behind the bar ended up giving me a Cam Newton jersey, and I said, "I don't want a Cam Newton." So what I did was I went and traded with the guy who had my Roethlisberger. However, I had a bit of liquid courage, and I didn't leave him until I got the trade.
There you go.
Cool. I stood there, and because he was
just demanded it.
I stood there until I stood there and bargained with him until I got my jersey. But the funny thing was, the guy who had the Roethlisberger jersey, he comes from out of town and goes to this Boston Pizza every year because no one turns up. and it's always a free jersey for him. So he always gets it.
He's got a Cam Newton jersey, and he plays for the Pats now, so that worked out.
Yeah, but that's what I said too. I said, I'm holding this Cam Newton. I said, mate, I'm a massive Steelers fan. Any chance? And he was wearing a Vikings jersey, and I said, any chance? You're not a Steelers fan. Any chance we can stop? He said, oh, no, my friend's a Steelers fan. I said, mate, come on. And then I stood there for about 2 minutes just arguing. And he probably
very persuasive.
I think I just annoyed him too much, and we finally swapped jerseys. And then my mates ended up coming in near the end, and they were like, "How'd you get that?" I'm like, "Shut up! I don't want to bring it up again because he's giving me death stares."
Death stares.
But
awesome.
Yeah, it was just super stupid and super fun. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, but it's pretty embarrassing just in the airport. So pretty bad. I've just never. Yeah, it's so annoying. I've been to the States so much, and I've always gone, I'll get there, and then something happens, and I just don't get there. And I transitioned through their airport once, and that was it. So, and then the times I've decided to go back, it's never worked out. So, and then I was thinking at my 40th, I'd start. Yep, let's go do it. And then the whole COVID stuff started to happen. Yeah. So I'll get
never seen the game yet. We need you to go.
Oh, no, wow. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I should have. I think. And then when they won the 2 Super Bowls, it was right when my kids were born, and back then, and just the money was not. I wasn't going to be, traveling the world then type thing. So it's just been bad timing. But I mean, I'll get over there. I'll probably just miss this era when Ben will probably be retired, and we'll probably have.
You're going to get that guy in high school, whoever the guy in high school now. He's going to be
okay. I'll get that, but I'll probably get the transitional period where they're just, cellar-dwellers.
Imagine, say, we don't want it to go to 2024, 2025. Imagine if Ben's still playing, though. You see Ben who's 44 years old, and he's still swinging.
That's right.
Into his 21st season. Yeah. We'll get you there. Like, I've been there 3 times, but there's something about it. A lot of the guys in our chat on YouTube, once you're there, it's the Mecca. Like I've heard.
I reckon I'll feel like a little bit like it's going home, even though it's never been there. It's been in my psyche for so long. It's just bizarre. Like it's just just little things about that city, and I feel like I could walk into a bar and talk to anyone there.
100%.
They go, "What the hell's that accent?" But that you would still talk about that sort of.
It's
stuff,
the best. And the best thing you just said then is about going home. So that's what I preached when I first went over there. It took me 15 years from my fandom in 2004 to I think I went in 2016. And I went there I didn't see a game in 2016. I just went over to see the city.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was about going home because and for you as well, from your experience from listening to on the radio, if you got that far back as a Steel fan to the radio, and then if you blink your eyes, the next minute you're looking at the stadium, which you love.
That's going to be bizarre.
It's the best feeling. It is honestly the best feeling I've ever experienced in my life. That I was walking in December. It was cold, and I walked and went, "Holy Jesus! I've seen that on TV, and now I'm looking at it." You know.
And the only game I almost got to was they played New York Jets, and I think it was in 04 or something. And I went there, and it was a freaking blizzard, and we just didn't even want to leave the city in New York. It was just like, and when I watched on the TV, and the stadium was just covered in, like, there was hardly anyone in the stands, and I was like, I'm glad we probably didn't go. Like, my wife didn't want to go. Like, I was like, I won't drag you out there in that type of weather. So we ended up just going to some Steelers bar in Hoboken across in Jersey there. But it was just horrendous weather. And I was like, damn, it was the one time I wanted to try and get a ticket and get over and watch a game at least, but it wasn't to be.
Have you met other Steeler fans in America, Cole? Have you spoke to them about your Australian fandom?
Probably not Steelers fans. I just work people that I've known over the years. They're all just varying, Chiefs, Browns, all the different types of ones. But no any specific Steelers fans.
No, how about in Australia, where you're from in Newcastle? Do you know any Steelers fans here?
A couple, but I wouldn't say they're great. Like, I'm not mates with them; just know them through connections. Yeah, so pretty isolated. But I just follow these podcasts. Like, I guess I listen to all you guys. That's your mates could
be watching you right now. They're going, "Oh no."
yeah, that's right. No, we're mates.
Nah.
Just
Cool.
I've probably forgotten one. Crap. Yeah.
What are your thoughts? We're going to might as well go an hour. I've been doing most for an hour if you got time, and this has been super fun. And what are your thoughts on the draft? Heading into this season.
Yeah, well, it's really weird because I mean I'm probably very excited. I actually wanted him to take Najee Harris, but like I said to you before the call, I'm actually quite a big O-line guy. I'm a pretty big believer in you got to start up front, you got to do all that stuff. But I just think, and especially running back as well. Like I'm a big believer that there's just no evidence. I mean, the evidence is all there that you don't need to pick him in the first round. But I just think there's one or two of those people that come along every now and then that you go, hey, you just need to take them. And so in that regard, it was fine. The second and third picks, I'm a little bit like, well, we'll see. If it works out, great. They know more than me. So we'll just wait and see.
The organization.
Yeah, but definitely, I think I loved having like Le'Veon Bell was one of my when he was playing well, it was just like crazy to watch. And just like this guy is so smooth and slow, developing, but then it was just magic to watch. And if we get anyone, I think Najee's probably technically he's a better pedigree than him. So I'm like, hey, if this works out, then that's gonna be good. And I sort of like that our line has been gutted, to be honest. I know that is a very big risk. It might not go well, but it needed a kick up the ass because they were just lazy last year. I don't know.
What are your thoughts on Dotson, Kevin Dotson?
Yeah, he's a Steeler. Yeah, so that's all you need to know. Yeah, he's just a Steeler. That's fine. Yeah, he's awesome. So, anyone who's a Steeler fan, I mean, he always was, but anyone, his dad or whatever. I mean, that's just awesome. That's what you want. Yeah, that's who you want to draft. So, yeah, he'll be good. It'd be interesting to see if he, stays on the left or not, or goes. That's the thing. I think there's a lot of interesting storylines. Preseason's going to be awesome this year, especially we're going to get 4 games. I mean, I always like watching it, but this is by far the first year in a long while where I'm like, there is a lot of it's not massive, it's question marks. It's not worrying question. It's just like, who's going to step up out of
a lot of competition this year. Yeah. A lot of competition this year to see on the O-line who's our second running back, who's the receivers are kind of pretty much they're
pretty locked. Yeah,
but there's
even
maybe
like linebacker depth, the corners like corner and safety, all that stuff is going to be interesting. We've got a punter battle. What are your thoughts on that? An Aussie versus a middle linebacker.
What are your thoughts on Jordan Berry versus Presley Harvin?
I mean, I didn't really have a big problem with Jordan Berry. So I mean, there seems to be a big Jordan Berry hate club. I think he's told to kick the way he does. I think a lot of the times. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it depends how good. Percy Harvin. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Is it
Presley
Harvin? Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes. I mean, I knew nothing about him until obviously they drafted him, and then I was like, man, this guy can boot. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. So yeah, I probably don't have a love of Jordan Berry either. I mean, at some point you got to replace him. So
did you know that Jordan Berry? I looked up the stats the other day. His net average is career best for the Steelers. He has the best. He has the best. But in saying that, with a lot of guys who I follow on part of BTSC, they say, he's the best. He's good, but he's not great, right? But I think like if you sit it in a nutshell, maybe he gets told to punt that way.
Yeah, I think he does.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's honestly, I think he's second in yards or something, and he's best in net average. So in the 20s as well. I think
who the first?
I can't remember who it was, but in net average or the best average overall was Jordan Berry, and I think it was Sepulveda or whatever his name is.
Sepulveda, Daniel Sepulveda.
He was up there, so he's up in the best.
Him. Yeah.
I think there's some people just have to bag someone out, and I think Berry gets a short end of the stick. And he can shank him, like he can shank the ones in the cold weather. Yeah. But what do you do? I think, and because we're losing, like we've lost our playoff games, we have to blame someone. I would be surprised if Berry beats the new rookie, but if he plays well enough, giving the man the job, like he deserves the job. Who are the other key guys you're looking for in preseason that you're watching?
Yeah, I mean, Pierre, I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does in corner because I mean that's my what that's always that's the one I'm a little bit worried about. Like just given that we've got, I mean, especially against the Bengals, they're going to have like lights out receivers as well. I think Browns are finding their feet there as well. So I'd hate to take, we've lived through shit secondaries and we finally got it sorted out the last couple of years.
And then Nelson leaves.
Oh, no, yeah, because that we just used to just be turnstile back there. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Like I said, Bush. I want to see Bush.
You didn't like Antoine Blake or those kind of blokes?
Oh no, yeah, he was just too class. Yeah, too.
Yeah. Or Artie Burns
to march out. Yeah, poor Burns. He was okay in his first year. That was about it.
They look a bit scared, didn't they? Some of those players they look a bit off when they're playing. Like they weren't the secondary from even 2008 and 9 were bad, but I did like the secondary with William Gay and in how he's approaching the Ike Taylor. How they could
just
tackle
smart players. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's number one. Yeah, tackle the bloody running back. But yeah, and then the other ones. I mean, just the line in general. I mean, you just want to see what happens. I mean, Kendrick Green's going to be, if he works out, that's awesome. If it doesn't, then a bit worried about what we have to put there.
Well, they've got BJ Finney, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he's not really a center. I don't know. So that's going to be interesting. So there's those question marks that just go either way at the moment. Even Trey, what's his name? Not Trey Essex.
Trey Norwood.
No, actually, no. What's the guard we got?
I can't remember now. I'm drawing a blank.
All these ones that are
the guy from the Panthers.
Yeah, just because they've had these injury histories. If they turn around and go okay, then that's good. But if not, we're like, it's going to be a bit tricky. I know nothing about the guy that just got signed. Is he a tackle from Cowboys or something?
He's Green someone. It's so hard to keep up.
I saw some comment that he's like the worst offensive lineman. So I'm like, oh, great.
I don't know. Look, I get the point where there's 90 players on the roster, and there's so many people to keep your eye on, and then even the surprise pick or the retirement with Vince Williams, and then like 8 years and you love him as a steal, and then you're like, a little part of me is like today I'm like, oh, but who's there?
Do you reckon they get stardom? some of those people who just make the roster for training camp, they're in the workout, they're in the gym, and they're training next to some of these guys. I wonder how.
Oh, you got to be.
Them.
Yeah, there are blokes in the receivers that, like there's a guy called Matthew Sexton or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He won't be picked. There's no way. Like he's just there for the ticket. The training camp and help out and get paid. They probably get paid a fair few dollars, and then you'll getting the ball from. I wouldn't if I'm a D grade player or E grade player. I still would love to be a part of it. It'd be great.
Gotcha. And like you don't know. I mean, especially with preseason now, you're actually auditioning for everyone. So it's not just the Steelers. So
Mike Hilton undrafted, James Carrier undrafted. These guys can come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So there's a few blokes there. Are you looking forward to the Hall of Fame game?
Yeah. I mean, not for obviously we won't see any of the big players. It'd be interesting if we do see like Najee Harris and stuff just for a little bit. But I just want to see a lot of these late round draft picks like Buddy Johnson and stuff playing, and just see and Trey Norwood and stuff. See those guys. Oh, who's the guy we got from Dallas? Detroit. The Miles Killebrew, the special teams. People like that. Like I mean, I don't know much about him, but he seems like he's a Jordan Dangerfield replacement. So
exactly, similar name too. And I was talking to Maddie on this podcast a few weeks ago. It's so funny because with Dangerfield is he played for the Steelers for 6 years, and now because he's not getting signed, no one talks about him. He's just gone, because he won't get picked up. Like I think they'll Killebrew's there to be that special team guy, a bit like Marsh. What's his name? AJ Marsh. I can't remember his name.
Cassius Marsh.
Cassius Marsh, like those kind of guys, they're going to be cool. Special teams like that. Ola Dennehy was there as well. He was just cool. Yeah. So you need those hype up guys. But Dangerfield, when you watch his tape too and his highlights, he was really good for us in the punk game. And even when Darius Hayward Bay as well, we used to be a gunner. I used to like watching the gunners, and they really when Barry nails it up in the air, and DHB was a
He's like one of the fastest players in the game when he was picked or something.
No, I think he was
great.
He
was number one or whatever.
He was great for us, and he was a first-round pick. And his role for a year or 2 years was just to be the gunner and just smash people on that receiving the ball. Is there any other players for preseason or anything that stands out?
I'm trying to think.
I
want to see Pat Fry move. I want to see how he plays.
Oh, yeah.
Like just because I loved Heath. Tight ends have always been a good. Like we've all Steelers have when they've been good, they've always seemed to have a good tight end, and we just haven't had one lately. Like just been we've been picking them, and they've been getting injured, or they can't catch the ball, or they can't. Like, there's always a problem, and it's just like so. Hopefully, we can sort that. But yeah, it's interesting. Even just some of the D line depth, to see where that's going to go over the next couple of years. Because I mean, they've got bloody good mentors in front of them, so it's going to be interesting to see
who's
how much
behind
depth there is. Yeah.
Stuart, Cam, and Alawala, who's come back now for 2 years, I believe, or 1 year. These guys aren't around forever. So who's going to be behind them? And this is why I think it's so important this year to really win that playoff game, because we have those superstars. And I'm really, like you said before, with the heart attacks, I'm sick of seeing them win by 3 points, win by 7. I just want to see them get up by 14, run the ball, get up by 17. Catherine or Oliver here says, what about Shakira Brown?
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of those DBs like that. I mean, that's the thing. But I don't know a heap about him. But he's undrafted. He was undrafted, wasn't he? He came in after. Yeah,
he's undrafted.
Yeah. So don't envy any receiver trying to make this team. Yeah, I know. That's so the cool group. Yeah, I mean,
does Ray have that number 5? Do we have 6 in there?
So. I mean, it's gonna be defend. Oh, I don't know if we can carry. Do you think are they going to have to carry more linemen? Do you think than they usually would because of
They normally carry like 9, don't they? 9 on 10.
Yeah.
And receivers they carry 5 or 6 depending with the running back situation.
Yeah. So
there's another young bloke there called Rico Bussy, which is a cool name. I know a little bit about him, but he's a receiver. If he can take Ray's spot, however, Ray is like that kick returner guy, and we really want to see him develop.
I mean, we had a horrendous kick return for ages, and I feel last year was the first time I went, you know what, this could be exciting, and he actually did some stuff. So I think unless you get a legitimate, and there's going to be people in the stands now, so you want some reliable people under that ball, and he seemed to have done it. Even though I know he's had a history of muffing some of them in the past, but he was good for us last year. So
I think Ray got a bit in his head after there was a certain few plays where he didn't crack it. He almost cracked it for 45 yards, and then there's a few plays into the games into the season. He did what Deontay did as well. Deontay did it with his receiving skills. He was more running in front of him before he even knew what was happening. Deontay was trying to run without the ball, and I believe that I saw it with Ray, and I saw it with Anthony McFarland. Now, I'm not no expert, right? But you can kind of see it. They were running their feet off and trying to do moves before they even happened. There was that one with Ray, like he was so close to the end zone. All he had to do was cut left or something. And he was there.
Is that the one where he fell over or whatever? Or no?
Yeah, he fell over like 15 yards out. Like I think he's. I wouldn't be safe to say that his job is safe.
Yeah, he's a lock.
You know what I mean? I think there could be a young star if.
Who would return stuff though? Like, because you wouldn't put
it could be like Bussy, like Rico Bussy, or Deontay as well. But there was a quote Mike Tomlin said in the recent Stand the Standard. He said, "You put it on tape, we'll look at you," or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know? That's fair enough. And there's always one player that makes the team, or at least the final 53, because of that. So
I think he said if you take it to the end zone, or if you get the ball in the end zone, we'll look at you. You know, so. Yeah. No one's really safe except those core 4, which is Washington, Claypool, Deontay, Juju. That 5th spot has to be a returner. Not really kick return because it's more punting game now. Because kick return you can't. No one returns it, right?
They need to change the rules.
I know.
Just let them get hit. Come on.
They changed the rule call where they had. When the ball hits the end zone, it's dead play. I used to like when the ball hit the end zone, it was live play. So you had to pick it up, and then it was a live ball because some players would forget that's a live ball, and they would just leave the ball there, and then players dive on it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the kicking's it's like you're just watching them kick through the end zone. It's like, okay, well, come on, let's get rid of it or change it again. I mean, I know safety's key, I guess, but at some point, I don't know.
All right, well, heading into an hour, I got a few more questions for you, and then we'll kind of cut it off. More about the season. So we talked a bit about the preseason. So, what are your overall thoughts on this season at this standpoint? Can Big Ben lead us to a Super Bowl this year?
Well, I should say yes. Of course he can. I think he can, absolutely. But I mean, a lot of things need to go our way first. We've got to play up to what we probably could be when we can't have injuries like anything. And I think some of these other teams have to not play up to what their hype is, at least. So it's all about, like I said before, you got to win your division, probably win your quarters, and if you do that, if we get in the playoffs and not have our normal fold on the first one. The Steelers, they're always in it. They're always in it.
Yeah,
this is the thing. There's no game you go into going, "Oh, there's no way we're going to win this." So that's the good thing about being a Steelers fan. It's also the frustrating thing because they can also lose any game. But look, realistically, it's still it's long odds, but I like them being the underdog a bit more, so it'd be interesting. I think there's
hardest schedule, I believe, in the NFL, which is really the players don't care about that, do they?
And look, things change. I mean, that's the thing. It's only based on last year, and everyone changes. And 8 weeks in, we might realize we're playing the easier schedule when you look at because there's going to be one or two teams that are just going to flop, and there's going to be some surprise team that goes the other way. Like San Francisco last year versus the year before, will they go back the other way?
They went back, didn't they? The Rams might be better this year, or the Browns could be better, or Browns will be good, I think. Except the only thing I think with the Browns is that Baker Mayfield, if you make him struggle, this team falls apart.
I mean, you saw what it was like the first game when we had him, and he was obviously not well, and we made him even more not well in that first game. His rib was or whatever it was.
38 to 3 or something. What team is in our way, Cole? Do you think that for that playoff run, or what team do we need to beat in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl?
Probably Buffalo, to be honest. Buffalo or the Browns, I say. It's going to be that, I reckon, because we're playing Buffalo as well. We're playing Buffalo and Browns twice this year, so that's 3 games in our schedule that we need to that their potential. And then, are we playing the Chiefs as well? Can't remember what the schedule is.
Hang
on. No, who are we playing?
I don't think so.
No, we must be playing the no, we're playing the AFC. God, I can't remember which way it is. We played the East last year, didn't we? I don't know what we're playing this year.
I could look it up, but I can't remember. What do you think we can Bills week one
up there?
Yeah.
Yes, if we've got a running game, I reckon.
We have a shot.
Something totally different,
It's week one.
And people don't know what Matt Canada's going to throw. I mean, I think they've got a lot of different options, but at least we've got a little bit of a surprise. And I think it's like anything. We've had a year now to look at the emergence of Buffalo and what's his name? My brain's blanking on the quarterback, but So I mean, they're going to be a tough team. They're good, Allen, They're going to be a good tough team, but if we can get a bloody running game even slightly okay, we can compete. We don't have to be so reliant on.
Yeah, but we just have to get more than 32. Have to be 31.
Exactly.
That was the worst running game I think in Steelers franchise history was 30 seconds.
And especially the Steelers. I mean, they were built on it years ago. It was just what it was. It was like I love the clips of it's like you know which play's coming, but can you stop it type thing. We don't care if you know what we're running. You're just going to run it down your throat. Bit of I formation, put a fullback in, just run it straight down the A gap.
Eli is one of our favorites on the Steeler Nation Australia Facebook and in the group. Always talking about Troy Polamalu. Are you excited to see Troy in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. They all, especially Cow. I've got Cow's book coming. I want to read it, and it's going to be obviously all those guys saw them all play, and it's just crazy to stay. As you get older, you start seeing them all pop into the Hall of Fame, and you're like, oh god, getting older. But I mean, he was just. It's just there's certain players that you just go, that was just freaky what he used to do.
Troy. There's no one better than Troy that I can really think off the top of my head, because I'm just thinking, like, I wish I saw him with my passion now at being 150,000%. I watched him I really started watching 2007, 2008, but he started 2004, didn't he? So yeah. I think I'll probably shed a tear. To be honest, like I think he's the most humblest person to play this game for the Steelers. And then he says one quote. He's like, what does he say about life? He says, "Oh, I love life, and I don't love football, but I love life, and football is a part of life." And it's just like, hey, give this guy a gold medal. Like
he's like a shaman, and he even looks like one now. Like like how he's aged so well.
And just the way he hit people, like how many times did you see? You would have.
He's a nice guy, but he'd wipe you out. Yeah,
knocked him out. Or the plays where he versed the Bengals, Carson Palmer, and he snaps the ball, and he's already halfway.
Yeah.
He's in the offensive line, and he's like, he's, giving the quarterback a big cuddle, saying, "Hey, mate!" Like the way he played that game was just. You look back at it, and I can't wait to see that. I think the Hall of Fame game's August 5th or 6th for us in Australia, and then I think two days later we have the Hall of Fame. We have I think it's 5 Steelers in there. Bill Cowher, Donnie Shell, some I can't remember the other bloke.
And what's his name? The coach. Oh God, yeah, my brain's gone. But what's his name? Dick LeBeau. Isn't it?
No, he's already in. There's another bloke.
He's putting. Yeah, Bill Nunn. He's
Bill Nunn's in there, and there's another guy too.
Tom Polamalu in. That's right.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 Steelers.
Oh, Alan Faneca's in. Alan Faneca.
Yeah, that's it. That's all of them. Yeah, Alan Faneca, Troy, Bill Nunn, and Coach. And we probably missed another person again, but I'm super excited to see Troy in there and to see Bill Cowher in there, the chin, because he's those guys are the Steelers guys.
Yeah, I mean that's probably outside of players. He's like the guy I remember the most, and just all these like he's Tomlin in a sense. Like he had these moments and these quotes and things that that you just picked up on, and you went, "Yeah, he was killed." And
what about the one?
Nearly tackled. Like both of them did. Well, both Cowher and Cowher nearly ran out and tackled a player once on a return, and so did Mike Tomlin almost.
Yeah.
Just the passion you see from those two guys. It's just it's awesome.
My favorite's the when he says when they're doing the Super Bowl run, and he's in the locker room, and then Peasy's like, "They shot me in Denver."
Yeah.
And then Bill goes, "Will you shut up this week, Peasy?" I think we missed that. Like, I know as a big fan, and you are a big fan too. Do you think we missed that camaraderie and that Steeler mentality in football? That team
a little bit
ensued?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's got a little bit. I mean, it's probably that generation a bit, and just a little bit more media driven, or a little bit more, I don't know, individualistic versus really
too much on their phones. There's the receivers on their phones here. The DBs on their phones over here. You've got to be all like together. And that's what I loved about Bill Cowher. He's just like, "Will you shut up this week?" Because that almost got us out of the playoffs. Like, I'm excited to see him and his story alone too. Like he won the Super Bowl a few times and the playoff a few times, and all he wanted to win, and he won one for the bus. And then those fellas at
the end of his career. I mean, it's always nostalgic now, but I mean, every year it was like it's like it is now. Fire Cowher, fire Tomlin. It was that. It's still the same thing. If we didn't win the Super Bowl, let's get rid of him, and especially, that we've had so many heartbreaking AFC championship losses that it wasn't just Brady, it was before that too, like losing, to San Diego. Was it San Diego the year before they went to Super Bowl 29? And it's just like, man, can we stop losing just right near the end? There's the whole Tim Tebow and the whole.
Oh, yeah, that was hard. That was really hard. The Tim Tebow 80-yard reception. Troy came in and tried to take him off the route. There was no backup safety. 80 yards away, score, we're done. I think Tomlin is now 8-8. I still think he's a really good coach. Now people say he isn't, but
I saw that 8-8 in playoffs. It's a bit,
That's why I think.
But look, I'm just saying we're just lucky. I mean, you're criticising, but they're really, you're just saying, you just want them a little bit better, but you take them over anyone else, because they are.
Well, there's a stat there I bring up all the time is that the Cincinnati Bengals haven't won a playoff game for 11,146 days.
Yeah. Well, so that's funny. There's that meme about that, is it? It's like no one's ever texted that Cincinnati's won it or something because there was no phone. There's no one's texted that they've won a playoff game because there was no no SMS invented or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome because as well, like with the Steelers, I even think like we love our franchise. It's great to meet you, Colin, and everyone else, have a good time, but we are a good franchise. We're always in it every single year, and it's probably one of the hardest live sports to win the Super Bowl. Like same with hockey, going through all that way. There's 31 teams you have to beat. 31 teams to get to the to get to the end, and people say Super Bowl or bust, and otherwise they're terrible, they're crap, they're shit. Same time you go, but there's 31 teams.
That's the journey. That's why I love that. That's the whole journey of it. Like that's the fact that you can every week you can follow along, and then you've got a chance to win. Like I've said, like I've never felt like I can't even remember the last time you thought they wouldn't win games, even when they were 8-8 and stuff like that. Well, what's the worst year I've seen them? 6-10, I think, was the worst I've ever seen them do.
That was
before they must have been 2002 or 3 when they got Ben. I think when they
I think it was 2001. Yeah, it was 6-10. That was in Bill Cowher.
But you said you're right. 7-9, 6-10, and that's all I've had. And then I think that's it. And the rest of it's been 8-8 or above. So it's been
we have a chance. Like you said, every year you put your soul into it. We have the whole season. We love it, and then it comes down to playoffs, and you either win or you lose, and then you're either really upset or you're really happy. And the end goal is the Super Bowl. But the hardest thing last year was that the fellas just didn't turn up. Like we all know it.
And it felt like last year, like you just knew we were going to be over cap hell because of the whole thing. We knew some of the it was pretty much this was the year to do it because they loaded up, really to try and do it with talent. And look, I mean, you can't blame injury, but I mean, if you didn't lose Bush and bloody Dupree, that defense probably would have held together quite well.
Huge, yeah. If Dupree was still there, exactly, Dupree was still there. That was a really tough injury. Losing Bush, yes, it was really tough, but I think those two together were really hard. But yeah, before we end the show, and it's been great. What are your overall favorite Steeler memories of this team?
Oh man, so you hit me with the nostalgic stuff, and I can't.
I gotta. That's what I like talking about.
Good with those things. The favorite ones. I mean, the one you mentioned earlier, that one where was it Ryan Shazier who took up the quarterback, the Miami Dolphins quarterback?
Bud Dupree smashed him.
Bud Dupree was it? Yeah,
he sent him to a new millennium.
Yeah, that was. I just remember it's those really big hits. I mean, I can't remember every specific one, but just those ones where you're just like, man, that I just got leveled. I mean, I really loved watching. The Kevin Green, Greg Lloyd. I can't remember which season it was when they had 10 and 14 sacks. And how much they terrorized people back then. But yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy watching the games. I don't really sit back and go, "Oh, that's a particular thing. I'm going to replay it a million times to watch it." So I probably don't remember everyone like that. But there was a few things actually. Some of the ones too, like just enjoying. I mean, I shouldn't bring them up, but Brown and Bell. There was some definite game streaks where they're just like it was just magic to watch. Like this guy, how does this guy catch the balls? Like there was.
I'll bring him up. Brown was good. You've got to give Brown credit. He's probably probably the best Steeler or Steeler receiver.
Two ball was against the Chiefs in that year that he went off his head in 18, where they basically tackled him and he still caught the ball and they all fell over and he just kept running. He's just like, how do you keep the eye on the ball like that? And I remember it was a drop in the end zone against the Saints in that last 2018, whereas if he had caught it, we would have pretty much, I think we either taken the lead or if we'd won that game, we probably would have got into the playoffs back in 18 or whatever it was. And he didn't catch it, but I remember because he got leveled, I think. But I just you just saw it and you go, he's going to catch that. And he didn't, but it was like, man, if he almost did it. And you're just like, man, this guy is awesome. Why is he being such an idiot? It's just like,
he flipped out. Like I've got a Brown jersey. He really flipped out. I was kind of like, you put our investment and time into him and learn about him. He went a bit crazy after that hit. Something happened to his mentals and went, I don't know. But however, as a Steeler, he's actually one of the best Steeler receivers. And now Brown as well. There is a few catches you can point out. There was one versus I always remember Steelers versus the Green Bay Packers, and on the sideline where Tony toe tapped the sideline. It wasn't for a touchdown. It was just for a big gain. It was like 3rd and 14 or something like that. Caught the ball, and there was no way he caught it about 6 feet in front of him. And he was amazing to watch. It was only unfortunate that I think the money went to his head, the fandom. He used to call God and that, look, if you're religious, cool, but he went a bit like crazy, hazy kind of style. which was hard. And I think the Steeler Nation will embrace him again. I'm not saying bring him back, but I think over time we will like him again. Bell left on bad terms. James Harrison left on bad terms. Even to a certain extent, Troy left on, I think, didn't like the franchise. So,
well, it was just sort of like no communication, just dropped off. Yeah. So I was like, oh, what happened?
Yeah. And that might happen too with Vince Williams as well. But there's some of these players, and I think Brown was just unbelievable at what he did. It just look, and now he's a buck.
It's funny how they come out of there though and still 6th round. Like, is it just the size is why they didn't? How he was not found. I guess
his determination, I believe, is what made him a great NFL player. He just believed himself 110%, a bit like Troy. And you see guys going round 1, round 2, round 3, and they fall flat on their face. You see guys like my favorite player is hands down James Harrison. Now he's gotten a bit of he doesn't like the Steelers, or he went to the Patriots here and went to the Bengals. But undrafted player, I've never seen a player like him that just went off that line and wanted to kill someone. He just wanted to take their soul and just drive them into the ground. And that's what I loved about Harrison. And he's just a man of a mountain. And I think that's what we're missing. We're missing that with our Steelers. We've got the Bush, we've got the TJ, but I just think they need that. I don't know. That's something about them. Like I want to see Cam really nail someone.
There's a little bit like that, and potentially in Cam and Tuitt if they turn it on. And then we'll see if Bush can get some more sacks, because he needs to get some sacks and really get in there. And because he can sack the quarterback. And so if you're talking about right back where we're talking about the Fire X and stuff, I mean he can do that. We can play those type of plays. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes. But there's that probably lacking that real animal, if you know what I mean. But so we'll see. I don't know. Highsmith looks a bit like an animal. He looks pretty serious every time he's played, so you never know. So he might turn into that. He looks a bit Chad Brownish to me. If you remember Chad Brown, the early
not at all.
number 94. Oh, okay. So because Greg Lloyd, Chad Brown, Kevin Green, and Levon Kirkland. They were like the main four.
Right.
So there's something about they look similar, I think, sort of. But my memory may not be serving me right there.
Definite last question: who's your player? Who's going to be your favorite player in this Steelers 2021 season?
I think. I'm hoping it's Najee Harris. That's what I hope.
Yeah. See him beat.
Yeah. I'd like to. I mean, I love running backs as well, and I'd love to see, especially when they can be versatile. Like if he can do that graceful running as well that Bell was doing, I was like, man, that's going to be good to see that back. So
cool. Well, hey, I might end it there. That was a great hour.
Man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. Hopefully we've had I think we had about 5 people in the chat or watching. That's pretty good. That was
helmet catch,
that was we had 4 last time, and we've had Eli and Oliver and stuff like that. So I appreciate you coming on, Cole. It was a bloody good time, and
that was good.
Talking Steelers football. Just hang around for a little bit. I'll talk to you a bit after, but I just want to say one shout out. What we're going to try and do, and I maybe try and get you there as well. We have a Steelers photo coming up in September 5th, before the season now, with lockdown and stuff going on. I'm going to be planning the Sydney event. Hopefully you can, if it does happen in person, maybe I can get you down from Newcastle and come to the event. Gotcha. It's a photo in the morning and we go and have lunch. That's pretty much it. Now, I've got to say, we've done this event 3 times. I did the first event that I organized to go to Melbourne. We had 8 people. We had Bella, Simon Marshall there. We had Jen and some other guys. 8 people there and kids and stuff. And I was so happy because I thought it was going to be me by myself. But this year with COVID and stuff, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to plan for it to be in an event. It's on Father's Day, so we'll do it in the morning. If you've got to run away. But trying to do it for 10 a.m. to 10:30, get the photo, maybe have a beer, and talk some football, and then rack off. If we have Melbourne listeners, Bella's going to organise a Melbourne event. Now, I want to stress this to the people who do watch this video, and I'll do it in the chats as well, or on the page. If you have Brisbane, Perth, or Adelaide, and you want to be involved, I know who organises the event, which goes worldwide, and it makes the Steelers website every year. So we get our big names. Yeah. So Sydney will be there, Melbourne will be there. But if you want to help me run the event in Brisbane or Perth or wherever, just text me or Facebook me or whatever. And the only thing is this COVID and lockdowns are, really trying to stuff it up. So we
Hard
might
to plan, isn't it?
Oh, it's so hard. I was going to plan an event for the Hall of Fame game to have beers and stuff, but I just can't. It's too hard. I wanted to plan we have about, I think, 70 people in Sydney, so maybe 10 might have showed up. But, super hard. So if we can do it, we'll do it on Father's Day morning. And if you do want to be involved, like maybe you're in Perth and you won't be locked down, you might be the one to get the real photo and I'll be here stuck in my house. But, we'll try and get you there, Cole, if we can. Yeah.
Keen to try in-person catch up and watch a game or something like that, on one of these late night games, which is obviously a day for us. But with the whole COVID thing.
Even last year, right, Cole, I was going to organise the Ravens game, but then the Sydney went to lockdown again. They just kept going into lockdown and lockdown. I was like, what are you doing? That was, and the Ravens kept changing their schedule as well.
Oh, is that one that just kept dragging on? Yeah.
And I wanted to put some feelers out there and say, we'll come to Sydney, we'll meet at this bar and have a laugh and a good time, because it would have been like 12 p.m. And I want to try and do that again this year. It just depends on these lockdowns, because I think we could get you from Newcastle if you just come down for the day, or I'm from Coast, not too far.
Have a
pint, and then, All right. So, thanks for coming. Stick around for a bit. I'll talk to you after. Cheers, guys, for listening.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.